What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the RWT podcast here on YouTube with myself, Kevin, and my boy JP. Everyone else is hanging out at home, but today we got a pretty special episode, I'd say. And it's what are we talking about, JP? I'm losing my thought
We are
here.
talking about X-Men
Oh,
97.
that's right. That's right. We're giving our first impressions of this series because I don't know about JP, but for me, it's X-Men. The original X-Men series was very near and dear to my childhood, and I was really happy to see them. Would you say resurrect this project and continue it, or
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, definitely resurrection. Or restructuring. I like to say, 'cause
restructuring?
I didn't even. When I heard that it was coming back, I was like, "What was the finale in the 90s?" And I
Right.
couldn't remember. Like, I always thought it was the invasion, or it was that black and yellow alien race that was taking over.
Right. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought that
Yeah.
was, or then there was that apocalypse episode where he took all the took all the telepaths. Like I always thought
Oh,
it was either
yeah.
one of those that was the finale, but come
They
to
were
realize
after
it
that.
was it was Professor Xavier being attempted assassination and then leaving the planet to try to survive with the Shi'ar Empire.
Right.
But I would not have guessed that. But
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I mean, so the original series ran for 5 seasons. Originally, it was slated for 4, but I guess there was like a lot of call for it, so they brought it back for season 5, but with a hitch, a totally different animation group behind this season, and a lot of
tell the difference.
You could tell the difference. It's almost night and day, but I'm damn proud to say it was our boys from the Philippines, baby. That
Yeah, you want you want affordable animators in the 90s, you go to the Philippines.
go to the Philippines. We'll take it. I'll take it. You know what? In the end, it was, you could see the difference, but I think it was just like you said, it was a shortened season, and people ended up it was a lower production, of course, but I feel like they wrapped it up pretty okay. I
Okay.
Again, I don't remember too much because I think at that point, I was kind of checked out of it already. I wasn't following it on the regular anymore. But
Yeah, I also think they I think the issue was they released it out of sequence too. So
yeah. I mean, at that time,
what
the wasn't Fox, right? Fox Morning.
yeah, it was Fox.
Like
yeah.
they were very inconsistent of releasing new episodes, and that's just not for X-Men. That was like for Spider-Man and all these
Yeah.
shows. I felt like I'd watch 2 episodes, or I'd watch an episode, and then it'd be a two-parter, and then next week it'd be like some random mid-season episode that had no connectivity to anything. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Or it would be an episode from a different season. And
Yeah.
Like yeah.
so I don't blame him for anything, but
No.
but I'm glad Kevin Feige decided to greenlight this project, and now it's here. And he said one of the stipulations was that they had to get the music right, and they did. I feel like they did a good job of
Yeah.
updating it.
Yeah.
There's some new aspects to it, but it's fairly familiar to the original.
It feels different, but different, but definitely familiar. Or just like it never left. Or
Yeah.
it never ended.
So I guess we'll start off with for this new season. We'll start off with the most iconic part of X-Men is probably the intro. You know what I mean? With the the lineup of X-Men, and of course the huge big change. Of course, Xavier's not there, and
No.
if you guys noticed from episode 1 to episode 2, Magneto's actually the first one shown because he is the leader of the X-Men. Spoilers. If you have not seen these 2 episodes, this is an ongoing series. We're not going to do an episode every week, but we just wanted to get our impressions out there the first 2 episodes because, like I said, we're really big X-Men cartoon fans, so we want to get our thoughts out there.
This is aside from Deadpool, this is pretty much the MCU's first dip into X-Men.
It's very true.
Anything.
Yeah.
We got some Easter eggs and end credit scenes, but this is the full-on content of what they're gonna try to present to
These
the
are
audience as
these are mutants.
their X-Men.
Yes,
Kevin Feige's X-Men.
for sure.
Um,
And I like that
but-
they kind of went back to X-Men '97 in terms of this is how they're gonna draw people in. You're gonna draw the
Yeah.
older people in first, and then hopefully they introduce it to the new generation. And
mhm.
yeah, and I'm here for it. Like I said, the intro
Kevin Feige's X-Men.
feels very much the same. They added a few
Yeah.
screenshots, like Bishop's in there now. They have Morph
Yeah.
in there now. And anything? Oh, the final scene when they're running at each other, the good guys and the bad guys. They changed up some of the heroes, the villains on the other side.
Yeah.
If you didn't
Was,
notice.
Lady Deathstrike wasn't part of that, right?
No, not originally. She was.
Not originally, yeah.
They took out Warhawk, I think it was, and
Mhm,
she's
yeah.
in his place. And yeah, subtleties, and it was good. I enjoyed it. But one thing I do gotta give credit for, at the end of the episodes, they did keep it the same as the OG with
Yeah.
the spittingness and like files on each X-Men, which is again
Yeah.
a nice touch because
Yeah.
how do you get people's money? Nostalgia, 100%. But
I watched the first two episodes of the original, and it was the first episode, but it wasn't on the second. Did they switch between that loading screen of the computer, or
yeah, it was like technology back then wasn't good, right? As good as we now,
Yeah.
right? So I guess technology was like they're trying to make like, oh, it's cool, so
Mhm.
that was like the look they were going for, but
yeah,
it didn't look
Very-
it didn't look as good as now, for sure.
no. That would have been the one thing I've been okay with if they modernized it, like it was an iPad or
Oh,
a
okay.
late 2000s tablet. And,
Yeah, for sure. I didn't even think of that. I like that. But the first episode, was basically, I don't want to say it's like we have a episode 7 situation here. Like it's kind
no,
of
yeah, no, that's the vibe I got too.
Ye-
It was like Star Wars.
A New Hope versus Force
a new-
Awakens.
Yeah. It was a homage to the first episode.
Yeah,
or the first two episodes
Yeah.
of the original series. But they did it well. I think they did a better job.
Yeah, this time around it's a little bit more. There's more meat to it. Before
Yeah, definitely.
last time it just kind of like, oh, here's Jubilee, let's save
Yeah.
her, and now it's like, well,
Like-
now you're the X-Men.
Yeah. If anything, they picked and choose the best parts
Mhm.
of the first two episodes and like
Mashed it together.
mashed it together and just like they did a very 90s thing and made it more extreme, like the Cyclops moment with the glasses.
Oh,
the
right.
visor and the glasses.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
That was just funny, like, oh, you wouldn't want to do that, and then like he's playing into that with the current series where, oh, don't do it, and then he blows them all up. Like it's just
But the funny part of that, when he's like, when his glasses fell off, he's like, I surrender,
Yeah.
and he's like, nah, and then he just blows everyone up. It was so good, man. Like, I never thought Scott was cool. You know what I mean? Like, he's the leader of the
Well,
X-Men, but
yeah.
they made him look really good.
No, and which is we can get into this. We'll be getting into this for many shows, but
Yeah.
Cyclops does not get his just desserts or
Yeah.
his due in all of pop culture because he is the leader of the X-Men, not Logan, not Professor X. Like it is Scott.
That's true.
They've just since the last 2 decades, he hasn't been getting enough recognition of.
He's been
his-
getting a lot of hate.
how good of a character. Yeah.
Yeah. But I dare say he's probably the most complex X-Men character out of the
Yeah.
entire roster, other than probably Magneto and Professor X.
Yeah,
So.
but they set the tone for him very well in
Mhm.
the first episode.
Yeah.
and like this is not your Fox is Scott Summers.
This is your Fox cartoon Saturday morning Scott Summers, bro. This is
there
this is
you go.
Disney Plus Scott Summers, and
Yeah,
speaking of how badass he was, when the was it the Blackbird got torn to pieces,
Yeah.
and he like he's like, see you on the ground, and he like blasts the ground. I was just like, dude, I've never seen him do anything that
I would-
cool
No,
in the show.
Yeah, they've never highlighted how much potential or versatility like him
His-
as
his-
a character is.
Yeah. Plus, I don't think they've ever shown how his optic blast is
Yeah.
could be used. You know what I mean? Like
No, they always made it seem like it's a laser. It's more of a repulsor. Like it's
Yeah.
it looks like a laser, but it's more of a pushback, right?
yeah. So
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool, man. Like, but in terms of costume, they still nailed it. Nothing too different for him. Especially Storm 2, nothing too different. I would definitely say the original X-Men in terms of their costumes were pretty much the same. But what I'm
Yeah.
really excited. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm just saying I'm glad that they fixed Jubilee's hair from season 5 to now, like that
What
whole
was-
bowl cut. It was like a bowl cut.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Bangs and like short shoulder length.
Oh,
hair.
dude, I don't remember that.
It wasn't the pixie cut that
Oh,
she
okay.
traditionally had. I think that was due to
Philippines.
the anime.
Our
the
brothers.
Philippines. It was too hard to maintain the animation cells with all those spikes, so they just went
They're like,
flat.
let's go. Let's keep it simple, you know.
Yeah.
What
What are you gonna say?
No, I was just gonna say that in terms of like the team itself, I like that the composition of the team right now. It's kind of
Yeah.
the team, you know, and they have Bishop. Well, they also haven't explained why he's there yet. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to get to get that story. So yeah,
Was he part of the final season? I didn't go back and watch it, but
there was
don't
so many
remember.
times he kept going back in time. Like
yeah,
of course
him
the
and Cable
they were like fucking
back and
everything
forth.
up. Yeah, like first time it was like because he had to kill Gambit because he did an assassination. Turned out, oh no, it was Mystique.
Yeah.
And then he went back again because there's like a virus that Wolverine helps cure or something. And
Right.
then I think the
Didn't
last
they like spill it on Wolverine, like
yeah they
for it to actually work?
like they're like, oh, we have the virus, let's put it on you, Wolverine, if your healing factor could do something. And it literally didn't take on him, you know, because his healing factor was insane.
Yeah. Side tangent.
Mm.
I have a weird feeling that the writers and the animators of this series took a lot of influences from Dragon Ball.
Well, how so? Why do you say that?
First off, Storm's costume. It felt very Ginyu Force, with the shoulder pads sticking out and
Yeah, but that's how she's always had it though. It just wasn't
So
as
did-
it wasn't as like pronounced, you know. This is more like
and then
edgy.
yeah. And then going back to that Wolverine health thing, it's very Trunks coming back from
Ah.
the future and trying to save Goku, and I don't know. I'll have to rewatch the entire series to see we could see if there's any more comparisons, but
Yeah.
Storm's outfit definitely screamed Ginyu Force to me when I saw it again after
Yeah.
so many years.
I think the shoulder pads were a little bit more pointed, whereas in like
Yeah.
back in the day it was a little more rounded, you know, compared to what it is now. So
Right.
that's what may have been the difference. But in terms of this, like we said, we don't know what Bishop's doing here because he's
Yeah.
not supposed to be here. We don't know
No.
why. And so like we're going through his past. The third time he came back was because someone was trying to assassinate Charles when he was in college still. This is when Nimrod and the Sentinels had taken over the future. So
Okay.
it was kind of very Terminator-y, where they're like,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
gotta
yeah.
like John Connor-ish. And so it was really interesting. But I'm excited to see Bishop's story here. I believe this is what, 8 episodes or 10 episodes. I'm not 100% sure. I know.
I'm hoping for 10 because I think this is the one thing
Yeah.
from
I can't
from
remember.
streaming Marvel I want more out of.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think at least they're not gonna give us 6. Like it has to be 8
Yeah,
or
I
10.
can do it because they gave us 2 on the first day. It'd be kind of fucked up to give us only 6. But this first episode highlighted. If you guys haven't seen it yet, you know, spoilers obviously,
Yeah.
but
Spoilers for the first 2 episodes.
first 2 episodes. But Sunspot, I forget his real name, but I'm just gonna call him Sunspot. He's basically
Oh,
targeted.
it's Roberto.
Oh, Roberto.
Only reason I remember. Yeah, exactly.
Like your
of,
daddy, Roberto.
Yeah, Roberto. That's the only reason why I remember it.
But but yeah, so you know the Sentinels, they were trying to No, the freedom fighters, right? Friends Humanity. Is that what their name?
Friends of Humanity.
Yeah, they were trying to kidnap him and stuff like that, and they had all these sentinel weapons based off sentinels technology that scarily looked like Mega Man blasters.
Yeah, Mega Busters.
I was like, yo, these kids are crazy, man. But of course, X-Men do their thing. They save them, and it's like we talked about, like the first couple episodes of the original series. It's kind of like an homage to that episode where he's trying to find a home. Not really find a home, but his parents don't even know about his powers yet. So
Yeah.
so I'm sure there's going to be a point where, because he gets close to Jubilee, they share a little dance, and I'm sure something's going to happen with his parents. Going to find out his powers, and he'll be back at the school. That's not confirmed. I don't know if that's confirmed yet, but I haven't seen any toys of that yet. So spoiler, if you guys like comics and like TV shows and movies, don't look at toys, because toys will ruin like the story eventually. Because I saw some toys and I was like, I did not want to see that, because now I had a feeling it was going to happen, but I just didn't want to see it outside of watching it, but
Yeah.
but yeah, first episode solid, and of course it ended on the whole cliffhanger that Magneto is now going to become the leader of the X-Men, because he has the last will and testament of Charles Xavier.
That's kind of a butt move, because he waited an entire year to reveal that he owns
the X-Men.
he has the rights to the. How can you own a team? Like, it's not like they're a basketball or football franchise.
Right.
Like I get owning the house and that's kind of a butt move, like the Blackbird and all that stuff, but his team, I don't know. I'm surprised all of them actually stayed into the next episode, but
A little fishy, but
yeah.
so so it was like, it was weird too. It was like, it was a book too. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I was
that
like-
was like there's a lot of stuff in there that Charles left. Like,
Yeah.
it's not just the X-Men. There's more stuff he's not revealing.
Yeah, that's why I was like, bro, why is that book so thick?
Yeah.
So, and that's
I was
yeah.
also go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh no, like the legality of it. I was like they just accepted that this is what Charles wanted without actually getting.
Just true.
Yeah, like. But anyways,
You know, it would have been
thinking,
funny
too realistic here.
if the second episode actually opened with Morph turning into like Matt Murdock and trying to read the documents, and it's like, I'm a
That would've
lawyer.
been-
I'm a lawyer.
What if you... that would be funny if Gambit like reaches out to either She-Hulk or
Oh,
or Matt Murdock to like find the legality if Magneto really has
Does he
the
have-
right.
does
to
he have the
any of-
rights to run our team? But okay, with that being said, the second episode obviously starts with Magneto taking over for the X-Men, and everyone's like, yo, this is bullshit. Why are you leading the X-Men? How can we don't trust you? You've been our biggest foe, right? That's what I think.
Yeah.
That's exact words that Storm said, and he's like, well, Charles was my best, not my best friend, but my only friend. So I want to follow his will, and what he did more. His sacrifice did more than anything Magneto had done for mutants. With
Yeah.
Asteroid M and all that stuff, like him just believing that humans and mutants can exist has done way more for the cause than any terrorism that Magneto has done. So
Yeah.
I really like how it opened too with the Ferris wheel, and he came out
Oh
of
right. Yeah.
came out of nowhere and like fixed it, and I was like, that's Magneto, dude.
Yeah. I thought that was Jean at first, but then
Yeah,
all the metal and things like that.
What led me to was Magneto was that it was like a yellow hue around
Oh, right,
everything. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Jean's been blue.
Blue, yeah.
This season or for this current run.
Mhm.
The one line I did like that they introduced was that Magneto kept his helmet on, not just because of the control or the telepathy that Xavier could impose on him, but
Mhm.
that he could feel how much Charles cares for him, that may have
Mm,
turned him
yeah.
off his path of his version of mutant revolutionary.
Yeah.
Of a mutant revolution. But,
Yeah.
yeah, I went out thought that deep of what as why he was protecting himself from Xavier in that
and it
regard.
and like as Xavier, how honest and true he was. He probably was never like he was never really in his head. It's just like Magnus himself had like this feeling that he was, but really it was just their friendship. You know what I mean? And and that's why he's on this new path to I don't want to say redemption or anything, but he wants to be he wants to be the version that Charles knew that he could be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no,
So-
definitely, and yeah, Charles is too honorable of just
Yeah.
of a friend not to mess with his
Well-
close friends'
well-
minds like that.
Well, because even Gene said like I could scan his brain, but that's right now. It it might be different an hour or a day or a year. Like even if he
Right.
did that, you wouldn't know. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, no, and they're setting up rules.
yeah,
They're setting up rules.
yeah,
too, so that
exactly.
It's probably going to be true for other characters down the
Yeah.
line in this season. Another side tangent. I think this. You think? Did you know that his middle name was Francis?
No.
Okay, I just feel like that's a not. It's probably always been Francis, but
Mhm.
I also feel like them emphasizing it is like a nod to Deadpool a little bit.
Hmm.
But I don't know, maybe reaching here, but that's the first thing I thought of when I heard the name Francis and in the X-Men universe of is Deadpool and his movie,
Yeah.
so.
It's funny too because I remember reading something that they used to call him Magnus because they had never actually revealed what Magneto's real first name was until
Oh,
later
really?
on in the comics to becoming Eric. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's true or
Yeah,
not.
yeah.
I just just doing some catching up on the series. I was
Yeah.
reading a bunch of shit and I was like, oh, that's interesting. So but
Well, that makes sense. Like we didn't. Who really knew Logan was Wolverine's? Like who called him Logan early on, or Gambit, Remy? Like
that's true. Yeah.
sorry, jumping between episodes. Like I just wanted to point out like the difference between outfits.
Mhm.
Like they're all in the mall, like dressed up as X-Men, and then this first episode they're all in casual clothing. Like I'm glad they gave them more than one.
Well, one outfit.
Yeah, like because Gambit was just straight up in his leotard and trench coat.
His abs were
but at
showing
least-
everywhere. You know.
But now for some reason he's all about beignets. Is that a new character detail I missed? In
No,
the original series,
I mean
or-
he's from Louisiana. He's from New
Yeah, but
Orleans.
that's a very vicious stereotype. What if like not everybody likes beignets or
Yeah, it's just I thought that was an interesting scene, and it's fun. I'm glad you brought that up because it was nice seeing them do other like the whole basketball scene.
yeah,
being out
that
there.
was very 90s.
Yeah, the way they were all dressed up, and
Yeah,
that was really good. And
yeah. Yeah, there was a lot of good parallels too. Like, sorry, going back to the first episode, like the Danger Room, like it was similar with Jubilee. It was Gambit and Wolverine again, and even Jubilee blasting Wolverine. It was all very paying homage again. Like,
Yeah.
it's just like they're again pulling on the nostalgia strings of our fondness of that first.
and I like how they when they showed like Scott and Jean's wedding. Wolverine was in the Danger Room, like killing Scott over and over. It's like so petty yet
yeah.
well called for. You know what I mean? Like get it out of your system. For the most part. And
But yeah, getting back to the second episode. Yeah, so Magneto's doing
He's-
good guy things.
he's doing good guy things. The UN's like, I don't know, let's go arrest this motherfucker. And probably one of the more iconic X-Men covers. They do it. They do the thing in the show. Magneto in handcuffs with his costume. If you didn't know, that was one of his earlier costumes with a big M on it. And I like that they're going to that costume. Because it's really showing that he has another side to him now.
Yeah.
Like he's changing. Like you said, he's not wearing the helmet. He's not wearing the red and the purple. It's more of like a new would you say it's a black? I think it's more of like a dark blue, something like that. Maybe it's like a dark
A
purple.
maroon?
No,
Yeah.
it's something like that. So it definitely he got rid of the red out of his costume, you know.
Yeah.
And now
Um,
yeah.
Is it stands for Magneto, or you think it's for like the Scarlet Letter for mutants, or?
No, it's M for hope.
Oh, okay. On his on his planet, it's Hope.
On
We'll
asteroid
get
M.
into we'll get into that reference later. But definitely
Yeah, it
the
means
hope
hope.
of it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what?
The Scarlet
Maybe it is like a scarlet letter, like M for
Yeah,
mutant.
because it looked very similar to Bishop's M on his eye.
Oh yeah,
So-
okay, yeah. Oh, okay. I could see that.
We'll get into that reference later.
So the UN grabs them and they go.
Yep.
Is that what it stands for?
What?
Is that what the M stands for?
What?
You just said yup.
Mutant? Oh no, yeah, the UN grabs them.
Oh, I thought you looked
No,
it
no,
up
no.
really quick. Okay, so UN grabs him.
Go on.
Now it's one of the big storylines of in X-Men comics, the trial of Magneto, and some crazy parallels, man. I don't know if this was just good coincidence or timing or whatever. All the Friends of Humanity, decide to storm the UN trial. Like it gave off very much January 6 vibes, 100%.
I
You know.
think it was very much intentional.
Crazy parallels, man.
They used the word what was it? Insurrection, I think.
Oh, did they? I
something
can't remember.
yeah.
I the second time I watched it, I was kind of like it was just in the background, so I wasn't really like
Yeah.
super paying attention. But and this is our first. I think this is our first iteration in any type of like cartoon movie of Executioner in the universe.
Yeah,
and
not
it
that I
was
can recall.
yeah, he was very much a comic book character, and it was nice to see. It's nice to see those things coming out into the different medias now. It's not just the same old bad guys and enemies. So
Yeah. Like Marvel X-Men is so dense and expansive. Like
so many
giving
characters.
other villains or characters an opportunity to just have a bit role or
Yeah.
a villain of the week opportunity is nice, because we're gonna get the regulars sooner or later. Just a nice variety isn't too bad.
And what's cool about this guy is he's actually like he's just a normal guy. He's like
Yeah.
he's like a bad Iron Man, sort of. Not really. He made his own weapons, his own
Yeah.
armor, stuff like that, and it was really nice to see. And then of course, when they were trying to get to Magneto, Scott's like, oh, X-Men, let's Storm stay with Magneto, and they're gonna go try to calm things down over there. And again, we saw Scott doing some cool moves with his optic beam, like
Right,
gliding
yeah.
around a little bit, and
Yeah, I have an idea why they're treating Cyclops the way they are right now. but
Okay.
I'll mention that towards the end.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah. So and then there's one highlight of the episode, but before we get to that, seeing Morph jump in as
Oh, yeah.
Colossus, Lady Deathstrike, even
The blob from last episode.
yeah, the blob from the last episode, Psylocke, seeing Psylocke.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah, so it was really nice seeing him jump into those characters and making it even more nostalgic,
So we only had Morph for a few episodes in the
Yeah.
original series. Does he copy powers? Because they're making it seem like he does that now.
Seems
Or
well. That's why he always had a gun, right? Because he
Yeah.
couldn't, right? He was just
yeah,
So maybe he does. I don't know.
because by being the blob is one thing, like you're manipulating your body mass, so I
Yeah.
can get that. But when he turned into Colossus, he did
That's true.
take those blasts pretty well, like
okay.
it did phase him. So because Mystique just impersonates, right? She doesn't
I don't think so. That's
have
a
real-
good question.
yeah.
I don't think
but-
I know too. Like well, Mystique from comics and what we've been given Mystique in the movies is very different. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Like the only inclination that we were given that she kind of replicates powers was Wolverine with his adamantium, but even then,
Yeah.
It wasn't. It was not real adamantium.
And that wasn't
The
even
adamantium.
but that wasn't even Jennifer Lawrence. That was the what's her name?
Right.
That was
Rebecca Romaine.
yeah, Rebecca Romaine, you know. So you know, going even deeper into the X-Men bag, you know what I mean there,
Yeah.
but so the UN scene, you know, they're all fighting, they finally
Yeah.
break through, and then they release Magneto from his shackles and the collar. And I thought it was interesting what he did. You know, he took all the metal and he made like these swords,
Right. Yeah.
punch her down, and then he told Storm to like electrify it and
Yeah.
made like this cage. And I was like, wow, this is a weird, like, because he could have
They're
just
trying different things.
yeah, like
Like,
it's a way like to show that he's trying to do something different, you know, because he easily
Yeah.
could have like just crushed them all, you know what I mean, because he's Magneto,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, power of magnetism, you know.
I'm surprised he did swords and not just a regular cage, but I guess.
Yeah, that's why I was like, why swords? He could easily just made a cage, you know.
I guess it's symbolism for justice, or
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm reaching there, but I was like, oh, sword. Like, if you're gonna use a sword, you might as well just like off them already. Like,
Yeah,
it's doing a horrible job of like blocking them from
yeah,
the judges, but whatever.
yeah. So then the big part of the episode is when Executioner takes his shot at Magneto,
Yeah.
and Storm takes the blast for him, and she hits the ground
Yeah.
hard, and then she says the line that got me was like when she's like, I can't feel the breeze, you know,
Yeah,
like
the moisture.
the
Yeah,
moisture,
The
yeah,
the breeze is gone. I can't feel the breeze.
the moisture,
Something like that. Yeah.
and it was like
that's uh-huh.
and this is just goes to show another storyline or where they're pulling from these comics. You know, this is Storm losing her powers is such a huge arc in the X-Men series, and it really gives her a really big character development, you know, to
Yeah.
become not just a better person but a stronger leader too. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to see this come to fruition and see where they go from here, you know. So such a huge arc in the X-Men series, and it really gives
Jumping ahead a little bit, but this is just why do people always just leave on buses? And not
because
just, like I know she had to leave and like do her thing, but like they have cars. We've seen them have multiple cars.
I mean, Logan has his Jeep still, so
There's Jeep, there's motorcycles, there's a bunch of cars. She could have just taken a car. I think they would have understand, but like for her to go on a bus with all these other people, like, yeah, I know you're no longer a mutant, but you're not uncivilized enough to
Yeah.
just drive
Hey,
yourself.
I just think she don't have the money. I don't think being an X-Men pays very well, to be honest.
Isn't she a queen in Africa? Like,
I don't know if that's
isn't she
canon.
royalty? That's not canon anymore.
I don't know what exactly is canon anymore, but I'm just saying, like, I don't think Charles was paying him the big bucks, you know, like, so that's why she got the Greyhound ticket to somewhere. So it'll be
I guess
interesting to
so.
see where it goes, you know. So
Yeah, that just like
I don't know if that's canon.
that was just bugged me a little bit. It's like of all the options, like it would have been. Anyways, I don't know. That's one of the things that stood out for that part of her storyline so far. Is just like really a bus, like just
Like you could
normal folks.
Dude, imagine she grabbed an Uber or a taxi.
Oh gosh.
She
No,
grabbed a
that's for
taxi.
X-Men. That's X-Men Evolution.
Oh.
That's when, they're remaking that.
Gotcha, right.
Re-evolution.
Re-evolution. All right. So okay. So so Storm loses her powers, and then
Yeah.
Magneto loses it, grabs the board, Executioner, on like this on the seal of the UN, and he goes into
Yeah.
space. Not space. You can see the Earth, right?
Orbit.
Orbit.
Yeah.
He went to orbit, and he's like, "Look." He gives this big spiel about how he wants to do better and all that stuff,
Yeah.
and it's very convincing. And he even says to him like, I could squash you like nothing, but it's not what Charles would want, and I want to honor my
Yeah.
friend. And my favorite
Yeah.
line was when he goes,
Yep.
"Don't make me." God, I feel like a noob now. I don't remember.
Don't make me let you down.
Oh yeah,
Like, that was
exactly.
like- yeah, that was like the line that resonated with me too. Well, probably with everybody, but like it's like don't make me f up, because if you do, you're
It's-
there's hell to pay with me doing that. Like,
Yeah, I was like, it's on you, bro. It's on you
yeah,
guys.
like,
Yeah,
I'm
and
giving you every opportunity for me to be good.
yeah,
But if
like
you
don't cross the
me-
line. Yeah, like
Yeah.
because he's saying he could easily cross the line at any time, but
Oh,
he's
yeah, yeah,
he's really
definitely.
he's not doing it because he has a new a new goal. He has a renewed belief in something, and his belief he's believing in Charles and doing it his way. So that's why he wants to stay on that path, the right
Yeah.
path. So yeah, and it pretty much. Oh, I mean, okay. Probably the funniest moment out of
Yeah.
the first two episodes, Wolverine's just watching the trial on TV, and then Jean pops out of the back, and she's like panting, saying, he's coming," and then Wolverine pops up, takes his claws out, and says, "Who? Apocalypse?" And he goes, "No, the baby," and he goes, "Oh," and then they drive him to the
Yeah.
hospital.
Gosh.
And what's crazy, something I don't know if you want to call this like the B storyline of the show, but because it's big, it's huge, because it's the birth of Scott and Jean's first child. But I didn't. What struck me the most was when the doctor was like, I can't deliver the baby."
Yeah.
It was like, bro, that's like some real prejudice shit, and
Hey,
it's they're
what the X-Men are.
and it shows like they're not like coddling it. You know what I mean? They're really like
Yeah.
playing to like how it should be. You know what I mean? This isn't
Yeah, no,
this isn't a kid show anymore, really.
No,
To be honest.
I also think they're pulling from current events, like
Mhm.
with yeah,
100%.
January 6th, Palestine, and Israel, and Russia, and Ukraine, like all these wars going on right now, and just the notion of we all like Magneto bringing the UN judges and council to look over Earth and just making this statement: we all have different, we all don't have to like each other, but we all have a right to live
Mhm. Yeah,
together on this Earth. Like, I think that's like
huge.
like I think that's the huge message, but to what X-Men's been trying to do for decades, of just like, yeah, we're all part of this Earth. We may
Yeah.
be all different, regardless of mutant, human, black, white, country, religion, but we all have our rights to live here. And
Yeah.
I hope, I don't know, maybe, I don't know if they'll get any more deeper than that in this season, but it would be nice to be able to still have a little bit of that, because that's what Stan Lee's intention with the X-Men was,
Right,
to
yeah.
have those parallels.
Real life like events that mirror comics that mirror real life events and how they deal with it, and because X-Men is basically, it's not really mutants, it's basically just racism, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Prejudice towards one group because you don't understand them, you know what I mean? That's
Yeah,
the-
you're
the whole
fearful of
premise.
what you don't know.
exactly. So
Yeah.
cool. So the episode ends with a huge cliffhanger. Okay, so Storm leaves, everyone on a bus, like JP said. Like,
I'm sorry.
no, it's fine.
Random tangent.
No, it makes a lot of sense, and so Jean's done reading the letter, and then Morph's like, she'll be back, she'll miss this, she'll be back, and then the door rings, and then he's like, look, that's probably her, and then the door opens, bam, Jean Grey, and everyone's like, what? And Jean goes like, Morph, I need your help, and it's like, that's how it ends, and it's just like,
Yeah.
two Jean Greys, what is going on? So it again, they show you what books they're pulling from, what storylines
Yeah.
we're about to see coming up, but I thought it was a great ending, great cliffhanger for sure.
Yeah. They set the tone well.
Mhm.
The first two episodes.
But remember,
So-
this is still Disney Plus we're talking about. How many of these shows have come out with the 2 episodes and we've come on the show and be like, it's a great start. It's like 2 really solid episodes and then it just falls flat.
I think the only time we really were really positive about the early episodes was WandaVision and Loki.
WandaVision, Loki season 2. I mean, Winter Soldier, I think first two episodes we were pretty hyped for it. You know, I thought so, but you know, I'm just there's a trend here. You know what I mean? They have two really good
Yeah.
solid starts, and then it just kind of falls flat. And going back to what you said, I hope we do have 10 episodes. And I'm hoping, like, I wish it would expand to 12, because so there's enough time to like really, really develop the stories and give the time it needs to fully develop properly.
Yeah. Now I'm curious because of all things, I would have thought because they're giving Daredevil Born Again 18 episodes or 22 episodes.
You know
Something like that.
Born Again is in a weird place right now. It keeps changing, like in terms of like how many episodes and who's on it, stuff like that. There's a lot of things that have been changing behind the scenes. So I mean, Marvel
Yeah.
just cut a bunch of movies, like Armor Wars is gone,
Right.
stuff like that.
True.
So who knows what's going on right now?
Ironheart, yeah.
Ironheart's gone. Like
Yeah.
it's tough right now. So
No.
this is all we
But,
have.
Yeah, that's true. I was just thinking like they probably should give X-Men at least the traditional 16 to 20 episode run for being an animated series,
Right.
because like maybe they're just testing the waters, but I think it would have done done very well had flying colors if it had the traditional
Mhm.
20 episode season, but we'll
Oh.
see we'll see what they give us with the 10.
Before I forget, I need to mention this. It's a huge part of the episode. I almost forgot. The whole there's like a small. They're hinting at a relationship between Eric, Magneto, and
Yeah.
Rogue. And
Rogue,
again,
yeah.
it's another way for them to set up stories that we've seen in the comics in the past. And I just want to know what do you think about that? What do you feel?
Just as we've been discussing what they've been pulling from so much in 2 episodes, I like it because it's not the Phoenix Saga.
Yeah, yeah.
Even though it does feel like it's going to be Gene centric this first season, I just hope they're not emptying out the bag too soon, or like
Okay.
using all their bullets in one season. Like they have decades and decades of story,
Mhm.
but good story is another is another thing.
Right.
So I just
So-
hope they're not. Yeah.
I hope I hope it doesn't. I mean, so obviously they're hitting. There's going to be some sort of like love triangle-ish type deal with Magneto, Rogue,
Yeah.
and Gambit. And someone had mentioned that Gambit was hella like heartbroken because the card he dropped was the Queen of Hearts, and like the
Oh.
Queen like fucked him over or something. But I'm like, that might be a stretch here, boys. Like, I get it, the symbolism and shit, but I don't know. We'll see how that develops. But like
Yeah.
I said, these first 2 episodes have been solid. I'm excited to see where they're gonna go. I can see where they're going, but I'm really excited to see the show regain its former glory, minus season 5.
Yeah.
Minus season 5.
We should go back and rewatch the original series.
We should.
To see what they're getting, what they improved on, and what they completely
Miss.
did not want to acknowledge anymore. Did you ever watch Wolverine the X-Men?
You know, that only had 1 season, right?
I think it had 2 or 3.
Okay, I didn't watch a lot of it, but I know it was good. It had good reviews out the bat, but I didn't.
Yes.
It wasn't something I watched normally because I think I got tired of X-Men Evolution. I think Evolution really kind of killed my X-Men hype because first I was like, oh, Spike's a lame character, but then I started liking him even more, like when he came on more. But I think I got X-Men fatigue at that time with Evolution.
That's true.
And I didn't like that they were in high school and Logan was the old man versus how the dynamic was with the original team was, so
They made him too tall.
oh. Well, yeah, I mean everyone's teenagers and shit, so but yeah.
But I'm getting an impression that they're gonna be pulling from that that arc.
Well,
from what was
Evolution?
going on. Yeah, because I think, or we'll get towards the end. Oh no, X-Men and Wolverine and X-Men on from the one from Nickelodeon.
Oh.
Either midway through the season or towards the later half, with or it'll be the finale reveal that it's gonna be again a time jump because like you have Bishop here. You're not gonna it's Chekhov's gun. Like if you're gonna have a time traveler there, you're gonna have to do time traveler sooner or later. So, um, and in regards to the did you say the spoiler yet? As to who this
we have
teammate
not
is?
we have not spoiled much yet, other than that, in terms of what we think's gonna happen, or what we know what's gonna happen because of what
Okay.
we've seen through various different medias. So
Okay.
if you want to
Alright,
say
well-
it, I mean,
No, we'll leave it alone for now. But
I'll just say this: with now there being two Jean Greys, 100% confirmed that we're gonna see Mr. Sinister again. And he was in the intro, but of course sometimes intros don't always show what's in the show, like Rick and Morty,
No.
right? They have like 4 scenes they show, and I think one of them's always a fake, you know what I mean, just for the
Yeah,
intro,
yeah.
you know. So just why wouldn't they do that, you know what I mean? So and I think Mr. Sinister's always been kind of had the weirdest like hard on for Scott and Jean ever since they were like kids
Yeah.
and stuff. Like it's really weird. The guy is weird, but we know like one of his biggest weaknesses is Scott's optic blast. It really just fucks him up and stuff. But he's a good villain. I'm excited to see him. If I don't know if he's the big bad or not, but I know he's gonna have an arc for sure. So so what's your
going back to
give me some crackpot
the-
theories, JP?
No. Well, like just bringing up Scott and Sinister and like how well they're treating
Scott,
Cyclops' character. I think they're doing this so they treat him well in this series. They show audiences how good of a character he is. Because if they casted Henry Cavill as Cyclops, you're gonna have to acknowledge and respect that man as Cyclops. You can't. You just set him up for. You can't just set him up as Cyclops and not give him
Like
again,
he's like a
the
mid-ass
just-
character.
yeah, because they've been treating him mid forever.
That's true.
And
Okay.
he's the leader. You treat your leader with
Mm.
respect. You don't treat him like he's a secondary
Character.
Blue Squad.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
He's Gold Squad Scott.
That's very interesting,
see.
dude. That's very interesting. Man. Okay. So that's why
So
you
not-
think that's why you
Not too
think
crackpot.
so that's why you think they're treating Scott very well now, making him look cool, is because you think Henry Cavill has been casted as Cyclops in the live action.
I think so. Like,
Is it confirmed that
if you're
that he's playing a variant of Wolverine in Deadpool 3, or is that
Oh.
an unconfirmed rumor?
that's unconfirmed because they've also said it was Harry Potter.
Yeah, Radcliffe. They're saying that
Radcliffe.
Radcliffe is playing the eye patch Logan, the suit, the white suit.
Got it.
Yeah,
That'd be funny. You know, I wouldn't mind that. Like a bunch of different
people.
actors playing because like we're not gonna get the original Mr. Fantastic for Fantastic Four or what's his name again?
Reed Richards.
Yeah, no, from Doctor Strange. That Mr. Fantastic. Office.
Oh, Jim.
Jim. Yeah, we're not gonna get Jim back
Well,
as Mr. Fantastic. So
Okay, tangent here. When they had announced the cast of Fantastic Four, right? You have Reed Richards, Pedro Pascal, right?
Yeah.
Sue Storm, that girl, I don't know. And the guy playing the Thing is cousin from the Bear.
from the Bear. Yeah.
And the poster they released was an interesting one because the Thing was reading a Time magazine that was like from the 60s.
Yeah.
So are we to believe that this is gonna be like Fantastic Four, but like in the 60s or 70s, something like that? Or is this gonna be our modern Fantastic Four?
I had two theories of that. One, or my main theory is that they get their powers, like, and they get launched to the future.
Oh,
Like,
They're negative?
they're pulling a Captain. They're pulling a Captain America without being frozen in frozen in
Oh, so
ice.
you're giving them kind of like a new type of origin story.
Yeah, like they're like similar to how they're in space, they're testing something readings in a shuttle, but instead of just getting their powers, they also get lost in space or
Oh.
lost in time and space and sent to modern time.
Okay, I kind of like the idea of the second Fantastic, or the first Fantastic Four reboot when they went to, was it the Negative Zone, or was it? Remember that's how they got their powers in that one.
Hmm. Oh, the one no one watched.
Yes, the one with the
Ah.
Fantastic Four, but the A was a 4. Remember?
Ah,
Yeah, that
Yeah.
one that had the, I think, the ultimate Fantastic Four origin story where they went to
think
some
so.
different zone or something. They
Yeah.
could play it off that where they get into the zone and they get their powers, but when they come back out, it's 20, 40 years in the future or something like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because time
Yeah,
is
no,
different.
that makes sense. They've been trying to make the quantum realm or other realms a
Other
thing.
realms a thing, you know. So
Yeah, that makes sense if they were experimenting and they couldn't get back home.
yeah,
So
something
either
like that.
multiverse loss or yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Okay,
Um,
back to X-Men.
that's X-Men. I kind of now just thinking about everything.
Mm-hmm.
It would be nice if there was an animated scene in Deadpool. Like if he's killing the Fox universe or the X-Men universe, like it would be nice to get just a quick
Dude, imagine if
1 or 2 minute.
if he just kills the X-Men from season 5, and it's that animation. Bring back the Filipino brothers who animated. Give him 2
Or
minutes in the movie.
what if that's like the end credit scene that was his last thing he had to do? Like, oh, it was because of Ryan Reynolds or
Dude,
Deadpool that we got this.
X-Men
cartoon.
97. That's cool.
Yeah.
You know, I'd like to, because I've always wondered, because you know, the reason why there's all this hype for X-Men 97 was because they actually made a comic book called X-Men 97, and I have no idea if it's, I mean, obviously it's not, I don't know if it's like copying it at all, because I've never read that series, and we know they're pulling from different books already, so I just don't know what this, I'd like to read X-Men 97 if there's a, I wonder if there's a hardcover of that. Is that still ongoing?
I know it was last year. Like so there was one for Secret Wars, and then they did it. I think a few years later they had another run, and then because of the cartoon, they did it. I think a prelude.
Oh.
I think it was what happened before this first episode. So
Oh, okay.
um,
Interesting.
there probably is a trade paperback of it for all of these out there.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'm definitely excited to, it feels like the 90s again.
Yeah, I'm excited to see where and I feel like the storytelling is really good. Like
Oh yeah.
early
Storytelling, the action scenes, like
early
everything.
X-Men season 1 and 2, the storytelling was really good and stuff, you know.
Yeah, it just feels clean. Like they knew what they did right with the series in the 90s and they just cleaned it up.
Yeah.
And they're accentuating all the positives and it doesn't feel, I can't think of any gripes with these first 2 episodes.
I got some gripes.
What are your gripes?
Some of the voices.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah, if
the animation
Yeah.
itself, okay, is okay. You know what I mean? But some of the things just look kind of weird too. You know what I mean? Like when some of the X-Men aren't exactly in the front frame, they're kind of further mid to back. Like they just don't. They look weird. There's like no extra definition to them. You know what I mean?
yeah, maybe that was the creative choice to make it feel the style
90s.
of,
Okay.
of the 90s or of what how the show felt during the 90s.
I don't. I was gonna say, don't you dare say it's an homage to season 5.
No, I wasn't gonna say that, but I was watching it for a second time around. I was okay with the voices,
Okay.
like and majority of the people that did come back, it's been 3 decades.
Yeah, they're
so
old.
You can't
They're older.
expect them to sound exactly the same.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just grateful that we got as many of them as we did, because
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the people who've
it-
taken over, like for Scott Summers, I had no idea.
no, I thought Scott was an original,
Yeah,
and I thought Rogue was a replacement, but
no, it's the same woman, just really older.
same woman. Yeah.
Yeah. Hashtag justice for Rogue, because the animators are not doing her any justice. She ain't thick no more. You know what I mean? So,
Oh,
but
damn it.
hopefully,
Well, who knows? We have 6 more, 8 more episodes.
There's more
Who
episodes
knows
coming,
what
maybe.
Magneto does? Yeah.
All right. Anything else you want to add to these 2 episodes, or anything about the series that you're liking, not liking? You know what I mean?
I just wanted to point out the Sentinel scene, like the action. I think if that's the
Ooh.
bar, like, if that's the bar of what we'll be getting for the big battle scenes through the season, I'm very excited to see what
Yeah.
they bring next. Because the fact they energize or
Yeah,
charged
yeah.
up Wolverine's claws. Like the combo, I want to see more combos amongst the X-Men.
Yeah,
because
that's
it
true.
also made me feel like the old X-Men video games, Ultimate Alliance.
Ultimate, yeah.
Yeah, like if they're able to do more like combined attacks, that I want. Like I want to see how creative they can get.
I hope they, you know what, either they bring Colossus in, you know,
Mhm.
or more changes to Colossus. I need to see a fastball
Yeah.
special. I want
Yeah,
to see a
no,
fastball
definitely.
special. I need one for sure. You know, and but yeah, so far we like the series so far. I'm excited. We're excited
Yeah.
to see where it goes, and next episode's tonight, actually, right? Midnight.
It's tonight or Thursday?
It comes
That
out
was
Wednesday.
Thursday. Wednesdays.
It comes out Wednesday, so I assume midnight tonight it's released. So
Okay, got it.
I might stay up, but
Okay.
it's past my bedtime, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We're old, but
World.
the nostalgia of X-Men '97 is not. So
Hey, at least they didn't do like Saturday morning at 6 a.m.
oh my god,
They should have done Saturday morning at 6 a.m.
dude, that would have been
just
sick
to,
actually. When it releases and stuff, that'd be actually really cool. But yeah, anything else you want to add?
Nah. I'm just along for the ride with this one. I'm not trying to over analyze as much
Right.
as we already did.
That's
Just
true.
wanted to-
I
And
don't think we
this is a little-
overanalyze it. I think we're fans first. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm like, this is one of the few things I just want to enjoy
Sure.
it as it comes and not
Yeah.
try to predict whatever is gonna be
Happen.
the final outcome.
Well, on that note, JP, next week we have
Speaking of predictions.
Speaking of predictions, and I say this for real, we have a giant-sized episode for you guys next week. It is the road to WrestleMania, and we are good. Huh?
The
Which-
final stretch, the final final
stretch.
length.
It's gonna be the last Tuesday before WrestleMania. Things are good popping off. If you didn't see Raw last night, holy shit, you missing out.
It's probably the best Raw in
Long time,
years,
long
in
time.
decades.
So,
probably, yeah.
I'm hooked. Some of us who weren't hooked before were sucked back into this life, and that's all thanks to this guy over here.
Acknowledge me.
Acknowledge me. So next week, huge giant-sized episode. We're doing predictions on WrestleMania 40. Are we gonna talk about every match, or is there a slate where we can find out what all the matches are?
Yeah. All the matches are posted on
They're-
their website,
okay.
their IG.
Okay.
Yeah. If for anybody watching or been following us, all recaps are on YouTube or their Instagram. If
Yes.
if you haven't been a wrestling fan or you've fallen off,
Tons of
I-
videos.
tons of videos. But I keep saying this: this era made it top the Attitude Era. It feels like it, but it's also, I think it's outclassing it. So if on that recommendation,
Wow.
if you want to check it out, all the content, like we're in the best era to be a wrestling fan because there is no shortage of content
Yeah.
for whatever style or wrestler or
I don't.
medium you want to
I'm just gonna
ingest
say
it in.
I don't know if you. I don't know personally if I could say it's better than Attitude Era because I haven't watched enough of this era, mainly because I'm just sucked in now because The Rock is the final boss, and now it feels it feels really good to watch, and but we'll see. I hate comparing eras. You know what I mean? Because they're so hard to compare because it's like, I mean, there's always links to different eras. Like this Attitude Era is now being linked to this. I don't know what do they have a name for this era yet?
No,
Let's just
they
let's just
they
call it
haven't yet.
the new
Because
era.
we're still in it.
The
Yeah,
new era.
modern era,
modern
or
era.
the tribal era,
And it's
or the
getting
Roman Reigns era.
yeah, it's getting linked now because of The Rock, basically. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I'm excited. If you guys are gonna be here, make sure you guys subscribe, hit the notification bells to know when we go live, when all our videos come out, whenever that is, and be sure to follow us, subscribe, leave a comment on this video who think is gonna win at WrestleMania, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.